Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Brazil. I've flown halfway across the world to South America with VW South Africa to join them in Brazil to see some new cars that are coming to South Africa. There's a very special model which I'll show you guys later, but I do want to tell you guys about why we're here. We're going to be exploring the world of VW Brazil, which is one of the biggest markets for that brand. I'm also going to be driving some cars that we don't necessarily get in South Africa, but the content is going to be cool and you'll see it all here on YouTube. But for now, welcome and let's show you what it's like at the VW factory. Welcome to the Way to Zero Center. Now, a really cool thing is in this room, we were taken through the process of how they take sugarcane and make it into ethanol. Now, we've gone through Brazil and we've seen the process of many garages that have this as well as normal fuels. Now, Brazil and South America in particular is one of the main countries that have this, which is really cool to see because it produces less emissions. Now, we've been taken through that entire step of when they take sugarcane to even the decarbonization of the whole process, which is when they burn the leftovers of the sugarcane and make it into stuff that can be used to transport the fuel. It's really cool. It's part of the tour, but we're also going to go see many more things. So stay tuned and let me show you what else is coming up. Now we're on our way to get a little bit of a factory tour and to see a process of how things are done inside VW Brazil. But on my way here, I'm spotting some really cool cars that we don't even get here, which is so awesome. They're also camouflaged, so we can't see what they are, but we kind of can. One of the things is the VW half ton. Now, I like that car and it'll do very well in South Africa, and I really wish that it comes through because I think it looks awesome. So this is the engine testing center. So as you can see, there's engines behind me, but through each door, you have engines that are put on a dyno that are stress test. So here they'll be able to measure peak power, Newton meters, but also reliability of an engine, which is important when you're mass manufacturing it for the public. It's really cool to see and all the data, but you also get to see firsthand the engines getting extremely hot, but also they're tested for emissions and heat and everything else that it needs to pass for regulation. An awesome experience, but also really cool to see that there's a lot of thought and information that goes behind making an engine. So behind me is a very cool process. This is the virtual road testing center. So what happens is the car gets put on the road behind us on each individual wheel, and we get an idea of what it's like on bumpy surfaces with also dips and undulations. It's really cool. It means that the car can be tested in simulations before it gets on the road. But awesome to see this behind the scenes process because we just think a car is made together and not a lot of R&D is put into it. But here we can definitely see that there's a lot of effort that goes into the car. So now you guys have seen what it's like on the outside. The inside's a very different story. It doesn't look as intense, but trust me, this feels like we're plowing through a gravel road. This is actually quite intense. Now, this is a very, very special treat. VW Brazil has taken us to the classic garage. Now, if you like the smell of petrol and old classic cars, this is definitely the place because we are getting treated to seeing some of their classics that don't exist anymore, but also are maintained throughout the garage. So come with me and let me show you what treats are in store in this garage. This is pretty special. It's not every day that you get to sit in a Mark IV two-door GTI VR6. Let me show you guys a cool car, right? So there's some cars over here and there, but have you noticed this one? It's an electric car and it's real. Let me show you. It's super cute because it's literally the tiniest thing ever. I love it so much. And everything works. Look at that. Crazy. Steering wheel works. The hooter, the lights, they just started it, but the battery is obviously low. But it's a working, functional mini car. I think that's cool. Also for scale, if you want to see. Look how tiny it is. Isn't that the cutest car ever? I kind of want one really badly. Now here's something in case you didn't know. So the cars behind me are quite familiar, world famous. We know them as the VW Beetle. But did you know that in Brazil, it's called the Fusca? And up until the late 90s, almost 2000s, that car was still being sold here in Brazil, which is incredible. The fact that they serviced, made, manufactured parts for that car is crazy. And being part of history of VW, it's really awesome to see that they've kept and maintained these cars in pristine condition because it's a time capsule. The smell of petrol and the smell of old cars, it just gives such a great nostalgia, and this is definitely a highlight of the trip. It is day 2 of our trip in Brazil, and it is a special one because we are going to a garage called By Denny Studio. It is a collector and restorer of classic VWs and special models. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we're about to see. So naturally, in Brazil, you'd see me finding the E36, but this is such a beautiful example. This is a manual 2-door 325i in the most pristine condition ever. You know, no matter where I go in the world, I'm gonna now try find E36, and it's so cool to see these cars all over the world. But this is so beautiful. The paint, stunning. The wheels, everything is bone stock. And if I lived here, I'd 100% make this guy an offer right now. So behind me is By Denny's workshop where they do all the bodywork and paint, and the facility is top class. We're told that he is one of the best in Brazil to restore cars, and he even has parts that VW Brazil don't even have. He's got cars on rotisserie, he's got cars being ready on primer. The workshop and the staff are doing such an incredible job. Most of the cars that you see here are going overseas and being exported to countries all over the world, which is absolutely incredible. By Denny's workshop is absolutely incredible. He is so well renowned. All of his cars are sent from around the world here to be restored, not only through engine but through bodywork. Just seeing some of the work he does on the cars, you can see it's his heart, soul and passion, and that's why he's someone that I can relate to, because working on my own car, like you saw on the E36 outside, it's so cool to see someone who shares the same passion as you for cars. We're now heading to our next spot, but for one last treat, if you want to head over to my Instagram, I've checked out the coolest sleeper car. It's that over there. It's basically a VW Ute. I don't exactly know what the name is, but I'll put it down here. But it's a 500 horsepower ethanol corn juice monster. And it's a street car, but it also runs 10 seconds. If you want to check out that review, head over to my Instagram. But for now, let's head over and check out the next spot in Brazil. Now, this is part of the trip. We stopped in a town called Cunha, which is just out of Sao Paulo. But this is called Lavender Fields. The view is absolutely beautiful. It reminds me a little bit about Cape Town, especially with the picturesque mountains and valleys, but it's known for its lavender. They make lavender ice cream. There's a big export for cosmetics, but it just looks so stunning. I have to show you in visuals, but take a look because this view is unmatched. Now, I've been to some amazing places all over the world, but this one is definitely a tick on the list. It's called Lavender Fields. It's 3 hours from where we came from, By Denny, and it's in the top mountains of Sao Paulo. It's absolutely stunning. And as the name says, Lavender Fields, it's where they make most of their exports of lavender, which is where they do all the creams, lotions, and also ice cream, which I'll show you later. But these views are unmatched, and I can't believe I'm actually standing here because what's behind me, it's something money can't buy because this view is just priceless. Good morning, it is day 3, we're in Paraty and we're driving all the way to Rio de Janeiro. It's a 4-hour drive, but for the first 2 hours, we're gonna drive something special. A car that's not even in South Africa yet. It's called the Saveiro. It's the half-ton bakkie that we desperately need. I'm very excited because I wanted this car. I wanna show you what it is and if we have the chance to get it. But so far, so amazing. Let me show you a little bit on the outside before we head out. So here's the Saveiro on the outside. It is a small mini bakkie, or ute as they call it overseas. This version is the extreme, so obviously top of the line. It has a super cab in it, so you've obviously got an extra row seat in the back, but it is still 2-door. You have a very nice roll bar. You've got a nice cover on the back. You've got an excellent set of wheels, and you also have, if you can see around the back here, a small load bin. And as you see, you can put all your luggage because it is quite big. The inside is also very, very plain and simple, but absolutely lovely. Quite similar if you know the Polo. So you've got the typical Polo steering wheel, you've got the analog dials, and a very nice screen for CarPlay, and of course, manual gearbox. Seats are also very beautiful and leather, but still an awesome car. We don't have it in South Africa, but I'm excited to drive it. All right, so this is something cool. Mr. How Much and I are in Rio. We made it to the city, and now we're gonna go see Christ the Redeemer, which is one of the wonders of the world, right?
Yeah, Brazil.
This is Brazil. Let's check it out. We're at one of the highest points of Rio de Janeiro to see Christ the Redeemer. Definitely ticking this off the bucket list because it's one of the natural wonders of the world. So incredible to be able to see it in real life. So just like that, we got a little bit of sunshine and we made it to see Christ the Redeemer with clear clouds, and it looks so great. But you only had it for like 5 minutes because the sun went down and we missed it. But this is definitely something to tick off the list, and something personal for me because I've seen obviously Table Mountain, one of the wonders. We've seen the Great Wall of China and now Christ the Redeemer. So it's time to tick off other wonders of the world, but this has definitely been a highlight of the trip. Welcome to day 4. We're at Grumari Beach and we have a little bit of a chill session. We're meeting with some VW enthusiasts. So we're going to check out some classic VWs, ask the guys what they've done and modified the car. But to be honest, on a backdrop like that, the views are superb. This is one of the best experiences I've had. It's been a fantastic trip, more or less to give us a great idea of Brazil, but also to show us its rich culture and beautiful landscapes. And it is so rewarding. But for now, let's check out some of the classics. So at Grumari Beach, we have organized ourselves a little impromptu car meet with some classic VWs. And it's really cool. These are very Brazilian, very unique, and these are the best car enthusiasts. You can see that some of the cars have Porsche wheels. They also have aftermarket engines, classic interiors. It's just really cool to see that a car that not many people like has been given so much love. And I actually have now a newfound appreciation for the VW Beetle and for other VW cars that we never thought were cool before. So this car meet has been really cool. It's a bunch of classic cars from VW enthusiasts that have brought it out here to Grumari Beach to show us off their passion. So a little bit of history on the cars behind me. The orange one that you see is called the Tiao, and then these cars that you see all along the side here, they are called Brazilia. Now Brazilia is basically the South African version of the City Golf. So sharing this amazing trip with me is a very famous South African YouTuber.
Mr. How Much?
And where are we?
This is Brazil.
I know this guy is obsessed with Brazil as much as I am, but he's always about new cars, which is also okay. He's had quite a cool one, in fact, a VW TCR. But Mr. How Much, how do you feel about classic cars and seeing these old school relics that have been done up?
They show the culture, the heritage, the history behind the VW brand, man. Like, this is amazing. How old are these cars?
These are more than 50 years old.
They're older than our parents, maybe.
Oh, I love it.
This is a proper. The great condition.
Yeah.
If you see the love and passion these guys have for their cars, it's amazing.
Yeah, if you guys want to check out South Africa's best automotive YouTuber, make sure you check out Mr. How Much. Just sub to his channel, but also just check him out on all the socials. He's a really cool guy. So right now I'm going to get a very unique opportunity to drive a VW Brazilia. This is a car we don't get in South Africa. And I'm here with the owner, Roberta, and he's going to speak his own language and he's going to tell me a little bit more about what the car is, what the engine is, and what sort of modifications he has, and why he loves it so much.
Olá galera, bom dia. Meu nome é Roberto Mota, sou do grupo Ferrari aqui do Rio de Janeiro, tá? Essa é uma Brasília 1965. Motor 1600, carburadão simples, standard, tá? Original, sem modificação no motor. Ela tá com uma suspensão baixa, né? Uma manga de eixo invertida para baixar a frente e atrás o facão regulável que eu consigo subir e descer. Roda aro 17 da Porsche, né? De uma réplica da Porsche, tá? O interior, o volante é Porsche. O interior monocromático de couro marrom, né? Tem o teto ragtop, que é um teto aí para dia de sol, então para dar uma customizada, né? E esse é o carro aí que a gente tá rodando aí com freeride aí. Esse é um motor 1600 original, 56 cavalos, tá? Estandarte, original, nunca mexido, carburação simples, uma carburação.
This is a very cool moment because the owner has given me special permission to drive his Brazilia, and let me tell you, the car community is amazing because they're just so happy to talk about their car and their passion, but to just let you drive it. And you know, I have old school cars, I've got more in the collection coming, and the smell, the sounds, how low you are to the ground, it's amazing. So now we're gonna go on a little bit of a drive and see what it's like. This drives so nice.
Yes.
This drives amazing. So this is a 1.6 air-cooled flat 4. The engine's called an AP, only 56 horsepower, but let me tell you, they always say that you don't need a lot of horsepower or kilowatt to have fun. And trust me, this is so true, because this, with just a little bit of tweaking and an exhaust, it's probably the best experience ever. We're gonna go over this traffic bump here, and then look at that. Listen to that sound. I love it. This has been an absolute treat, and I hope you enjoyed it just as much as I did. I'm even here with Rafa, and even he's getting a chance to drive it. What do you think?
It's amazing, yeah. Brazilian car culture is the best. In Brasilia, it's a really classic one, so enjoying it a lot.
And it's so natural. You don't need anything big and fancy to have fun. They just love what they have, and they really enjoy it, full of passion, and there's no pretending or showing off. It's just natural stuff. It's amazing.
I love you.
All right, guys, Mr. Hamach and I are now officially driving VW Brazil's hero, the Fusca, or you guys call it the Beetle. What do you think of the car so far?
It was cool. And it has a sunroof.
This is what South Africans like. We like sunroof. But it's so nice, man. I think, you know what? We should get Beetles.
This is nice.
Don't you think so?
No, this cars have character, man. They're
Yeah.
so bright.
It's the sound. It's making us want to get a Beetle. So let us know in the comments if we should get one
I like this.
and rock it.
We should actually.
I think so, yeah.
We can afford to.
I need to show you the coolest feature. So this is the owner, and he's just told us that this Beetle has air conditioning. So here we go. This car, flick the switch, and it's ice cold air conditioning. What? Wow. Yeah. Check this out. This is the most amazing retrofitted radio with a screen. Could probably play some visuals, but air conditioning. Ooh.
Sorry.
Air conditioning is seriously cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for the last treat for the VW trip, this is something to tick off my list. Not Christ the Redeemer, but we're here in Rock in Rio. We've only seen the YouTube videos, we've seen the Instagrams, but now we are here live in the flesh to check out some of the biggest artists in the world in a VIP experience, because how else are we gonna do this? So we've been giving ultra VIP experience. As you can see here, this is a sort of backstage area. You can get your makeup done, you can charge your phone, you can have all the best drinks in the world. But let me show you, because I know you guys know that I will find this. It's not a BMW E36, but let me show you. Specially launched in other countries, but it's the first time I'm seeing it. It is the pink sugar-free Red Bull. I'm so excited to try it out, but what an experience. Let me show you what it's like to live like a VIP in Rock in Rio. All right, so I've come outside quickly just to show you. That is main stage over there. And we just missed Travis Scott, who played during the week, and he played to an incredible 115,000 people. Think about that number. That's ridiculous. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the biggest artist in the world in an incredible setup like this. So the founders of the festival used this car, which is a VW Passat. And the story of why this car is here and why the three people are there is the guy who started Rock in Rio had this car, and things weren't working out, and he was about to give up. But what happened was these three friends convinced him to stay, and that's how Rock in Rio became this mad legacy. And that's why, as a symbol, they kept this car as a heritage symbol as well as the statue of the guys. We're now going to check out a car that isn't even in South Africa. It's the Golf 8.5 GTI. We haven't got that yet. They've also got a Mark 1 Cabriolet, but we get to see the facelift 8 in the flesh. And let me tell you, this is such a good looking car. So here it is, flying halfway across the world to give you guys an exclusive, which is the VW Golf 8.5 GTI in the flesh. Now, it's currently unconfirmed if this car is going to come to South Africa, but it's still really cool to be able to see it. There's a lot of changes, as you guys can see. It's got a front LED badge, as well as some minor updates to the outside. This car is already good, but it's been given some subtle updates that I think will do very, very well. I really hope that this car comes to South Africa because the GTI is a hit. It's called the Verpa. That's become an internationally renowned word across the world for this car. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this exclusive preview because it's one of two here. Because after this, we're going to go to the second location to check out a car that possibly is coming to South Africa and the world. It hasn't even been revealed. It's still in camo, but let's show you guys what we're about to see. So behind me is the car that is part 2 of our trip. So you've seen the 8.5 GTI, but this is the mystery car. You can't see it because it's a very clever marketing exercise. In fact, Volkswagen Brazil is doing something really cool. They are making people write down name suggestions and they'll choose the best name for the car. If you go and look carefully, you can only see the car in sort of a silhouette when you run the video really fast and the camera can kind of get a glimpse. But at the same time, you have to go really close to the eyes. The phone can't even pick it up, even if you zoom. But it is an SUV coming to Brazil in 2025. We're getting it in 2026. It's called the A0. We've seen leaks of it online. We don't exactly know what it is, but we kind of have an idea. I'll throw up a suggestion on what I think it could be based on, but it looks awesome. It's based on the Golf, and it's going to be a hit because we all know that VW like SUVs and they sell well. And an SUV always has to have a T name, especially in South Africa. So there it is, the exclusive. What do you guys think?